The Riverbank Run is filled with many stories, from those of inspiration and faith to overcoming the odds. The story of one father-daughter team in this year's race goes beyond the spirit of running. It starts with a captain named Ruby and ends with an angel by her side. A local Holland family sits down to a typical weeknight dinner.
Dad, come here.
However, there is nothing typical about their story. As they journeyed to Haiti for a mission trip in 2007, starting a family was not on the agenda for Mark and Kelly Tenhaken.
Second night before we left, we were laying in bed kind of just recapping what we had seen for the day and spending some time in prayer and just talking, and I looked at Kelly and I said, I think we should adopt a baby.
The couple started looking into the adoption process, which took them to Ethiopia. That's where they met Ruby.
Ruby was in really rough shape. In a lot of ways, she had a skin fungus. She was 7 pounds at 4.5 months. It was just really sad when I look back and think about where she had spent the first 4 months of her life. I think in a lot of ways kind of clinging to life.
She couldn't talk. She cried a lot at first. She had a lot of seizures, so poor girl probably had headaches and a lot of aches and pains because of her neurological condition.
Ruby was diagnosed with a form of epilepsy, Lennox-Gastaut, as well as cerebral palsy and what the doctors described as global brain scarring.
To be honest, we prepared for a healthy little girl, and so all the things we learned about in training were things that a typical child might go through when they deal with adoption. And when we got her home, we had a whole different set of things to deal with.
Sometimes life throws us a curve, a different ending, or perhaps a new beginning.
She's always liked walks, like I said, swings, all those sorts of things. She's always liked movement. So we knew the transition to running would be pretty simple.
Thanks to a push from his brother Paul, Mark started training to compete in Spartan Ultimate Challenge that will air on NBC in June. Mark's desire to compete increased, but this time with Ruby by his side.
When you go and run with her, it either puts her to sleep, which is a great sign that she's enjoying it, or she's out there talking and feeling the wind and all those sorts of things. We go in between trees and the shadows and the light flashing in her eyes, and she loves it.
Mark and Ruby recently completed their first race together, with hopes of many more. Next up,
it's a lot easier in there than it is back here.
The Riverbank Run 25K. Mark will be pushing Ruby with 2 of his close friends through My Team Triumph, a unique organization focusing on individuals with special needs.
We saw some people running with My Team Triumph shirts, and that was just kind of a cool thing. We were cheering them on, hey, My Team Triumph, yeah, our daughter runs with you. And it gives kids and adults like Ruby kind of a voice. It gives them representation in a world that they're probably rarely represented in.
We have the choice in life to either struggle with change or take it and run with it.
If your emotional spectrum is here, from happy to sad, I feel like when you have kids, it goes here. And then when you have special needs kids, it goes here. And that's a gift that I'll have forever.
It will be the first race together for Mark and Ruby as a part of My Team Triumph. And as you heard Mark say, he hopes there are many more races in their future for this unique Captain Angel team.